As you're all probably aware, things are getting pretty expensive recently, so it's more important than ever to not spend your money like a complete imbecile. With that, I've decided to create a list of things that people willingly spend a great deal of money on, not because they're intrinsically expensive, but purely because they think it makes them look more respectable or something. Honestly, some of the stuff that people cannot afford doesn't make any sense when you consider the stuff they can afford. Anyway, onto the video. Now listen, I'm not an idiot. I could see why people value their phone, because they're expensive and you could do quite a bit with them. Nonetheless, the value people put on them makes no sense. Listen, after getting my results, because I did alright, I was bought a laptop so that I'd have one for sixth form, and since I need internet, and I can't use the schools for some reason, I needed to use my own data. Problem is, I didn't have, nor have I ever had, mobile data. As a result, I needed to buy a new phone. Now the phone that I had, and the one I've been using for my videos thus far, is a Samsung J4 Plus, which I've had for about 5 years. And since I was given an Apple laptop, my mum decided that I must now switch from Samsung to Apple, more specifically an iPhone 12, which I'm using now. Now let me just say this right, looking past the trivial conversion from Samsung to Apple, I can confidently say there's not one thing about my new phone which makes it that much better than my old one. The only real improvement is that now my phone runs faster, which in all honesty would have been the case if I'd bought the same phone. So given that, why do people make such a big deal about what phone someone has? Especially when half of these wankers spend the majority of their time on Instagram, which you could do on most phones anyway. What's the big deal, really? The fact that people have no issue with paying way more than necessary for a piece of clothing, simply because of the company that made it. Okay, let me just spell out how mad that is, right? You're a layman who can barely afford to live for goodness sake, and you see it feasible to pay 4 times the cost for a scarf just because it has some nice letters on it. What's your mentality here? Mate, more time it looks worse with the logo. All you're doing is making it easier for thieves to steal, you knobhead. You're not cooler than me, you're stupider. Like no one was gonna steal your scarf until they saw it was worth a lot of money. Idiot. And for goodness sake, why are shoes so valued? Clothes kinda make sense, because they're the most visible part. But a lot of people care more about what shoes you're wearing than what clothes you're wearing. What? Okay, let's for a moment entertain the idea that the brand of clothes that you wear actually means anything for that matter. You would think that if you were to protect one part, it would be the actual clothes. But no, from what I've seen, people get more annoyed by getting their shoes dirty than getting their actual clothes dirty. Do people not see how ridiculous that is? Shoes are meant to get dirty. That is in essence their sole purpose. And some morons don't even want to get their shoes damaged at all. There are some people who will buy a pair of shoes, which again are designed to protect your feet, and yet will walk a certain way to not crease them. Are you joking? Why'd you buy them then? Mate, if you aren't willing to get them creased or dirty, don't wear them, you plonker. Just carry them or something. And my word, if you're one of those people who thinks having a celebrity signature somehow makes an item more valuable, kill yourself. I am dead serious. It's just some random wanker who did something that we were all too lazy to do ourselves. They're not God, mate. People will pay more for something purely because it has some form of interaction with a famous person. And especially if it's someone I've never heard of, then I really just don't care. Don't waste money on expensive stuff purely because it's more expensive. There's nothing wrong with taking the cheap option. Like take myself for instance. My friend group at school are all those type of people that I've just mentioned, and I am not. Hence, they wear a bunch of expensive stuff, whereas I don't. What's the consequence? They simply don't ask me. As with most things nowadays, no one cares until you bring it up. Anyway, that's the video over, and I'm probably going to be too lazy to upload for like 2 minutes or something, so bye!